So, including this race, we have 3 more senior heats to decide the top 30 going in tomorrow. Race 16 in the meeting, Heat 8 for Senior Rotax Groups B versus D. Let's have a look at the starting grid. On pole position, already having taken a victory this weekend so far, Mark Kimber, representing Great Britain. He'll be joined on the front row by Belgium's Luca Lystra. Callum Bradshaw, also a heat winner today, will have Poland's Patrick Donica alongside. Luna Blum from the Netherlands, she'll have Sean Butcher from Great Britain alongside. Nicolas Picot from France and Sam Bergstein representing the Netherlands will start on row 4, ahead of Matthew Higgins from Great Britain and Noah Hipp from France. They complete the top 10. Felix Jansson and Elia Galvanin, row 6. Alexander Abkazava from Georgia and France's Vincent Bouteye round out row 7. Theo Eriksson and Dylan LaHaye round out row number 8. And you can understand the real pause after Dylan LaHaye because of the way that he's been driving. Absolutely monumental all weekend long so far. Then Boyan Hamida Soudi and Victor Plateau, row 9. Marcelo Vigna-Parhord and Flint Schuring complete the top 20. Running out the 28-strong grid, Beer Dorrestein, Marcel Lecuy, Emma Weinreich, Elias Carlin, Storm Brouwer, Luca Köster, Christopher Saxe and Mario Sidler rounding out the 28-strong. They go on to the formation lap. 10 minutes on the clock plus an additional lap in this race. So after this, we will have Junior Rotax, their 3rd and final heat. So after this race for Senior Rotax, we will have 2 more. And that reminds me of exactly what happened in February of last year at Karting Campos for the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Cup. We had 10 Rotax heats for seniors. And to be honest, if anyone was to say to me, which one out of the 2 race weekends do you think was the most exciting? To be honest with you, they all had their slight idiosyncrasies, their slight little nuances, but both of them as exciting as each other. The thing is, we've had rain all day here in Belgium. In Spain, we were having about between 15 to 20 degrees Celsius worth of sunshine in Andalusia. So you can understand where I'm coming from on that particular juncture. The drivers now making their way towards the opportunity to go racing once again. So Kimber, Lystra, Bradshaw, Donica, Blum, Butcher, Picot, Bergstein, Higgins and Noah Hipp. Into the tram lines we go. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights out, we are racing. And a good start once again from Mark Kimber. Callum Bradshaw following behind. Lystra running wide to the outside as Luna Blum has got herself into 3rd position for the slightest of moments as she gets tangled, courtesy of Nicolas Picot going through turn 3 and into 4. But the Dutch driver still staying resolute, still staying confident. And a belief in her abilities as Sean Butcher gets the accordion effect as there are several drivers going around the outside through into turn number 6 onto the Europaplan. And the accordion effect is happening again. It's like everything's being squeezed together and you've got no room to breathe. There's, oh, now the 363. Now, who was that just had that moment? That was Dylan LaHaye. A far cry to what we've seen, as it's definitely side pod to side pod just ahead of him. As LaHaye trying to side his way through the field as, oh, now that was the 3-3. Now that was Storm Brouwer. That was Storm Brouwer, wasn't it? He got a turnaround, he got a full 360. He came out of turn 10 and someone gave him a little bit of a tap and it sent the Dutchman into a spin. So Kimber and Bradshaw controlling proceedings ahead of Lystra. Picot, Blum, Butcher, Higgins now up into 7th, having started P9. Bergstein rounds out the top 8 ahead of Patrick Donica, who started on position number 4 on row 2. Felix Jansson from 11th up to 10th. As now Luca Lystra trying to chase down the 2 British drivers in front as Sean Butcher gets a real good run on Luna Blum. He powers past her going out of turn 6 onto the Europaplan. And now Luna Blum has got Matthew Higgins up her inside. And he gets through. And now it's a scramble. Sam Bergstein trying to get past Luna Blum in the 319, and he makes the move through turn 8. So Luna Blum, in just 2 corners, has dropped nigh on 3 positions, courtesy of Butcher, Higgins, and Bergstein. And now Dylan LaHaye is going side by side with Beard Dodderstein and gets round the outside of him. Well, no, it wasn't. It was Patrick Donecker. He got round the outside going through turn 10. And now Luna Blum fancies a chance at giving Dylan LaHaye something to think about, but not in terms of contact. She's letting him know that she's there, but she's now got to fight with the 382 of Patrick Donecker, who rounds out the top 10. Dodderstein up from 12th into 11th now, past Felix Jansson. A few other drivers have had a bit of a drama, and one of them is Theo Eriksson. As there's a moment, Luna Blum on the outside of turn 3. Disaster for the Dutch driver. Absolute disaster. Now, I didn't catch what happened. It could have either been standing water or there was a slight impact that turned the back end of the kart around. And now Dylan LaHaye is trying to close on those in front. And this is getting rather tricky. The rain, there is still some shade of intensity, but it is consistent. As there is LaHaye up the inside. That is on Matthew Higgins. So Higgins, P6, now drops to 7th, courtesy of LaHaye. And that's on lap number 3. Mark Kimber still leads. Callum Bradshaw still rounding out the top 2. 7.5 tenths of a second adrift. Lystra, P3. Pico, P4. Butcher, P5. And now Butcher's got well, if he had rear view mirrors, he'd have rear view mirrors filled with GKS colours. And now LaHaye goes up the inside of Butcher. Butcher looking to carry the momentum to try and get through on turn 4. No dice there. So Higgins doing his level best and is trying to stay with them. So Luna Blum, unfortunately, she's tumbled all the way down to 28th, having started from P5. Got a sniff at 3rd position in the early exchanges, but a turnaround just a few corners ago spelt disaster for the driver from JJ Racing. 5 minutes and 24 seconds to go, and here is Dylan LaHaye. Oh, now that was the old Nigel Mansell dummy again, and he did that on all people. I would never have believed that he would have sent it like that on Nicolas Picot, who's now got Sean Butcher closing it down on him. So Picot has been in the trenches. Butcher has been in there. Well, he's been in the higher tiers of the troughs, but he's had a few good results to Sean Butcher. So Picot now trying to keep away, as there is Patrick Donecker, and he has just been passed by Felix Jansson from Sweden. So Jansson under the Dan Holland Racing awning this weekend. Nearly goes sideways going through turn 5. Hard on the brakes into turn 6. Now put the power down and start accelerating. Up to full revs, up to full speed. Through into turn 7. So good move by Jansson. Stormbrewer now closing on Elia Galvanin. And Galvanin has been struggling. The Italian, 3rd at Sarno in the grand finals. Not able to really showcase what he is capable of, but I think there was a little bit of a touch a little bit further back from my viewpoint at the moment, as the 325, as Noah Hipp gets past. And that was Patrick Donecker. So the battle for 7th, 8th and 9th really starting to get heated and hot under the collar. And in that mix is Matthew Higgins. Well, you look at it, there is Picot, there's Butcher, there's Higgins, there's Sam Bergstein, Beard Dodderstein in the 304, not too far adrift either. So from Butcher down to Dodderstein, they were covered by just over 1.6 seconds at the end of the previous lap. We're on to lap number 6. It has been a tough day, and especially when the seniors have had the most heats out of anybody. And this is heat 8 out of 10. They've got 2 more to go. And Dylan LaHaye in Group D, this is his final heat. And now you can see how fast he's been catching. He's caught up with Lystra and goes down the start-finish straight and gets the move done before the apex of turn 1 and the braking zone for 2. And LaHaye, absolutely masterful. I mean, if anyone might remember, he started off really, really well last season. And it's always a what could have been situation. Because LaHaye only did 1 round, but a perfectly good explanation to tell this little bit of a story as we concentrate on him. He's now started scarpering away from Luca Lystra. Well, has he? Well, he took the opening 2 race victories of the season here at this circuit in August of last year, second weekend. We went to Wackersdorf. Timed qualifying came along on the Friday afternoon. I still remember he came through turn 6, went through the apex, clashed wheels with another driver, and I think the driver might have been Sean Butcher, if memory serves me correctly, not 100%. But the resounding thud of Dylan LaHaye's coccyx, which is basically the tailbone in your spine, got a massive impact. Because literally, I've never seen someone clash wheels and then go up and down. LaHaye went to be checked up and was ruled out for the rest of the season. So 2021 could be his redemption year. Because, to be honest with you, he's had 3 race victories from provisional records today. He's not going to catch Bradshaw or Kimber. He's 4.8 seconds behind Bradshaw. But to have 3 wins on a circuit you know very, very well, and obviously GKS, based out of this track as well, it's going to give him an opportunity. Now, Sean Butcher still trying to close in on Nicola Pico, as Matthew Higgins running in 7th, ahead of Sam Bergstein, Beat Dorrestein, and then there's Felix Jansson. So Jansson started in 11th position and has stayed in the top 10. For now, mechanical black flag has been shown, and that is for the 338 Stormbrower. So he had a mechanical black flag, or as we like to call it in the United Kingdom, the meatball flag. So we're on to the penultimate lap of this 10-lap race as Felix Jansson does the switchback on Beer Dorrestein going through turn 2, but Dorrestein retakes the position through turn 3. Then going through turn 6, looks like Dorrestein took a little bit of a wider line to get the power down, whereas Jansson took the tighter apex. Meanwhile, the leaders coming through into turn 10 for the penultimate time. Now there goes Jansson. Oh, a little bit of a clash there with Beer Dorrestein, and Dorrestein keeps the position. So it's left-hand side of Jansson on the right-hand side of Dorrestein. So, final lap board for Mark Kimber and Callum Bradshaw. Looks like a tandem formation here. And the gap was just under half a second, but then Bradshaw decides, well, you might have had 1 win, Mark, but you know what? I'm a world champion. I'll see if I can do something in the last lap. Well, he tried, and to be honest with you, I think that's the mind games for tomorrow. You know, there's always a game plan. You don't know what it's going to be, you don't know what it is, until you do see it happen with your very own eyes. Stormbrower has retired from the race through the mechanical black flag that he was issued. Dylan LaHaye rounds out the top 3. 4th, it's Luca Lystra. And here is Bradshaw right behind Kimber going through turn 9. And Kimber looks to his right-hand side. And Bradshaw sweeps the cart in. Goes through turn 10, through the exit. And now the pair running down towards turn 12 for the final time. Kimber takes the tighter line, not allowing the cart to drift wide. Powers out of the final corner. It's a 1-2 for Strawberry Racing. Kimber leads Bradshaw across the line. And that was by 0.4 of a second. Another impressive display from Dylan LaHaye, taking third after 3 race victories earlier on. Luca Lystra takes P4. Fifth, it's Nicolas Picot. Now, I've just had a word from timing that Elia Galvanin will get a 5-second post-race penalty for pushing. So LaHaye, on average, this is actually quite a good statistic here. He's gained an average of around 14 positions in every single heat he had. A really difficult qualifying session for the Belgian yesterday. But, however, he has made it work. And in these wet weather conditions, you can't say that's half bad. So, Kimber takes the victory from Callum Bradshaw by just 0.405 of a second. Dylan LaHaye rounds out the top 3. Luca Lystra in P4. Nicolas Picot started 7th, finished 5th ahead of Sean Butcher. Matthew Higgins, good drive from the young Welshman. And he started 9th, finished in 7th. Sam Bergstein, 8th, ahead of Beer Dotterstein and Felix Jansson rounding out the top 10. Flint Schuring in 11th, ahead of Noah Hipp, Vincent Bouteille, Patrick Donica, Victor Plateau, Christopher Zaxa, Elia Galvanin, Alexander Abkazava, Mario Sidler down from 28th, up from 28th to 19th, ahead of Emma Weinreich, who rounds out the top 20. Luca Costa, Theo Eriksson, Elias Kalin, Boyans, Hamida Saudet, Marcel Lecuy and Marcelo Vigna-Parod. And a trio of French drivers in 26, with Luna Blom rounding out the 27th position on that race.